Hi there, my name is Gladys Famoriyo, and I just wanted to tackle one of the most top or popular questions I used to get asked and still get asked time and time again. It's regards to your purpose. So people say, well, how do I know I'm living in my purpose? How do I know I'm living purposefully? What does my purpose look like? So I just wanted to just spend a few minutes just tackling that, just based on my own personal journey in life. Now, for me, let me tell you what your purpose is not. It's a situation where you find yourself where it just feels like, how can I put it? You're in the bath with your socks on. It feels uncomfortable. It doesn't feel fulfilling. It just doesn't sit right with you. And the chances are you might find yourself in a job, in a role, having responsibility in one area or the other, where you are in that position where you're just not fulfilled. That's a major indicator that perhaps you need to do a bit of a check and have a look internally. For me, I mean, most of those who've coached with me or who've been on my journey for the last 25 years know that I started off life as a biochemist. I have a couple of master's degrees. I have quite a few things. And the reason why is because, I was searching for answers. I knew what I was doing at that point in time was just not the right thing. And so I'll try something else, just, being led and try something else. And it's like, 80%, but not quite there. And, it took a number of years to start searching for what I felt was, the right place for me. And you know what? Here's the secret. The thing was already there. I was doing it. Whilst I was being a biochemist and, an IT consultant, all this kind of lovely stuff that I was doing, on the side, I had my side hustle. I was writing books, writing columns for women's magazines. I've been doing that for like 20 years. I was kind of like the go-to person, when people say, well, could you coach me or help me or mentor me or train me? I was doing all of that unofficially and I was so fulfilled. I loved that. And so when the time, I started to kind of have a bit of a moan with father, my boss, when I started to say, what's going on? I don't understand, and he basically led me to that scripture, when Moses was, in front of the burning bush and Moses was saying, I can't do this. I can't do this. And you know what he said? He said, what's that in your hands? And he looked in his hands and he found a rod. Now, we all know what that rod went on to do. And for me, Father did exactly the same exercise. I said, well, what's that in your hands? And I'm thinking, biochemistry degree, masters in IT, masters in all these other things. It's like, no, what's that thing you're doing? You empower women in particular, you train, you coach, you love writing inspirational articles. And that was basically the beginning of my journey. And, 20 plus years later, I can't say that there's not one day I jump out of bed and say, whoa, yeah, living purposely. So for me, that was a telltale sign, an indicator. So if you see yourself like a app that you've been downloaded an app on the inside of, so all of us are born with our own internal apps. My apps were writing, encouraging, inspiring, leading. They were all telltale signs, that, and even creating, I can write a book in a weekend. I create courses with my eyes closed. I create things to answer solution to problems people are actually facing. And that's me. So over to you. What's that thing that you've probably put at the bottom of the pile thinking, I can't make money from that. Oh, nobody's ever done that before. It's not going to make me money or whatever. Do your due diligence. Do some research and see, because we're living in a world where people are making money and making a living from the most inconceivable things. 5 years down the line, 5 years before or 10 years before, there are some careers where you'll have never had that kind of career counseling in school because those jobs didn't exist. But hey ho, where we are today, there are so many opportunities. So I just want to encourage you, whatever it is that you are doing at the moment, if it's not fulfilling, please don't be, that person who ends up on their 60th, 70th, 80th birthday in a rocking chair thinking, how I wish, having a life of regrets. What's the worst that can happen? You tried, you failed, you try another approach. So rather than live a life of regrets, aim for a life of purpose. And for some of us it takes a long time, like me. And I think, to be honest, in my early days I really wasn't tuning in to the big guy. I probably would have found the solution a lot quicker. But when I did take the time out, it was basically, what's that in your hands? So if you've been asking questions about your purpose and you want to start living purposely, take some time out, take a stroll in the park, take some time out and just start to think, well, what is it that I do phenomenally well? What are the things that people compliment me on all the time? What are the things that people ask me for support on all the time? That's an indication, of your purpose. Now, you may not have all the jigsaw pieces immediately. Nobody does. In fact, till the, I believe that we get the pieces we need for the season. Okay. You're not going to get the whole picture, but you're going to get what you need for now. So if purposeful living is something you want to do, please don't ignore the internal, almost like alarm clocks, or the internal cries or frustrations or the unfulfillments that you're experiencing. The chances are that it's your life saying, wake up. This is me. I want to be used. And I really hope and pray that God gives you insight, further clarification in terms of what you should be doing in your time, that in the time that you have, because we all have an allotted time. And at some point, as one author said, at one point everything goes back in a box, and that's the end of it. That's the absolute end of it. And my prayer for you today is that you find a way of living purposefully, using what's already been downloaded in your hands. And I pray that the scripture in Exodus 3 encourages you, where you actually look at what's already in your hands and see how you can profitably maximize that. Remember the word profitably, not giving away, profitably maximizing that for the King, his kingdom, but also for your own needs and to be able to support other people as well. So live purposefully for today. Take care. God bless. Till the next one. Bye.